Don't miss a beat, join the notification squad by clicking that bell. You'll get notified every time I upload a video, and be sure to join our Discord to talk and get help with your code.
Hello everyone, my name is Sebastian and welcome back to a brand new video on the SourceCode channel. In this video we are going to make a simple, I guess you could call it an application. We're just going to use a simple HTML element and we're going to make a digital clock inside of it. So it's just gonna be a simple project, but I haven't planned any major thing yet, so I'm gonna show you how I think and how I end up with something that works. So we're not just going to explain one simple thing, we're gonna go over a couple of things. This will also include some HTML stuff, but it's not a lot. It's mainly JavaScript. So first of all, I edited my HTML file to contain a div with the ID of clock, style, font size, 4rem, text align center, and then I load my script file in under the body so it doesn't load before the HTML file loads. I'm not going to use CSS much to make it pretty. I just edited the stuff to make it more readable. So let's just get right into it. So we want to start by first of all, we can declare the element that we will need. So we can say const clock equals document dot get element by ID clock dot inner HTML. We don't want to do that. So clock is basically just the element that we have, so we can say clock dot inner HTML equals test. When we go back, we should see that test shows up. And if we remove this again, let's say we say test 20 blah blah blah, we would see that it would show this. So we can modify the HTML stuff. So this is basically all we would need. So we can remove this again, and now I want to make the clock. So we need a couple of things to make this clock work. First of all, we need to get the time. We need to get the day, seconds, month, that kind of stuff. We need quite a few things. We're going to use switch statements and a lot of the date stuff. We're going to need an interval, which I haven't explained yet, but it's not that hard. We will need something special, which is applied to a string. It's called bad start, but I will just show it all later. So we can start by setting the let's just get the date. So I'm gonna write a function get date, and it's going to say const date equals new date. And if we go on to the MDN docs, we will see that there's quite a few things here, but we don't want to just use new date. We want to use this stuff, which is get date, get day, get full year. So I'm gonna open this in a new window, and we're gonna see the get date returns the day of the month, specify a date according to local time. Okay, so we can use get date, and that would log. Okay, so that would log the date. Okay, so what we want, let's see, how will I write this so it doesn't become a mess? Yeah, what I could do, let's start with something more easy. Let's start with seconds. Get seconds. Seconds is just the seconds that we're on. So if we go back, we say const seconds equals date dot get seconds. That would give us the seconds, and we don't need to make, we do need to make it a function. Okay, get seconds. So now we would have the seconds. Then we could do minutes, get minutes. So minutes equals date dot get minutes, and I expect that to be hours. Hours equals date dot get hours. So now we have three things: seconds, minutes, hours. So what we can do is, I want to give it all back as one big thing. I don't want to overcomplicate stuff, so I'm just gonna return, and we're going to return an object. So if you don't know what an object is, I recommend you watch the object video. We can just write it like this: return and then make an object, and we could say seconds equals seconds and go on. But the way objects works is really special. So if we just say seconds, it will check if we have a seconds variable, and it would actually say seconds and then what's inside of the seconds variable. So we can do minutes and we can do hours. So if we use clock.innerHTML equals get date, we would see that we get an object. Okay, so I guess we could log this into console to view what it really is. Get date. If we go into console, we would see console, an object which holds hours, 15 minutes, 27 seconds, 22. Alright, so that's pretty cool. So what we can do now is we can add more stuff. So instead of just having the time, we want to also have well, no. First I'm gonna make it pretty. So we have the seconds, minutes, and hours, and I want to convert that to be something more readable. So we're gonna say const time equals, and I'm gonna make it so you have 06, 05, then so the hours, the minutes, and the seconds. So what we can do is we can use pet start, which I already told you. So we can go to the MDN docs, we can look for pet start, and as you can see we have string.prototype.pet start, and this is something that we can it's really useful. So we can add stuff to the start of a string to make it a specific length. So let's say we want to make this time, we want to get the seconds. No, we want to get the hours, my bad. Hours. And if it's 5 hours, it would display as 5. But I wanted to display it as 05. So we can say hours dot toString, because I don't know if it's really a toString. Nah, it's not a string, so we have to do toString. And we can then say that we want to pet start. And if I go to the docs, we would see that the target length and the string, the pet string, the string to pet the current string with. So we say pet start, I want it to be 2 characters long. And if we don't have 2 characters, I want to add a 0. Then we can add this, do the same thing for minutes, toString.pet start to 0 plus seconds.toString.pet start 0. No, we want 2 0. Alright, so if we make this a bit smaller, not that small, we could see we have a little string. Now instead of returning an object, we could just return time. And instead of logging it into we'll just keep it logging into console. So if we go back, we would see 15, 30, 19. Now if we wait a bit, alright, so it's almost back to 0. So I'm just reloading the page. Let's see, 50. Here we go. You would see 0, 1 instead of what we normally get is just a 1 or 6. We get 0, 6. Now if we go past this stuff, we would still see that it would remain with just two numbers. So this is just a quick way to make it look pretty. So what we can do now is we can set the inner HTML. So clock.innerHTML equals get the date. So if we do that, we would see 15, 31, 29. Now if we reload the page, we would see it would update. But I want this to update automatically. So what we can do is we can write an interval, which is a function that repeats itself after a certain amount of milliseconds. So if we do that, and we gotta provide it with a function, so we can say function, and inside of this function we will say clock.inHTML equals get date. And after that we want to put an amount of milliseconds, and I'm just gonna do 1000, which is 1 second. So each second it would update. We can leave this in here because an interval doesn't start immediately. It waits 1000 seconds or 1000 milliseconds, so it waits 1 second, then it executes what's inside of it, and then it keeps doing that. So it doesn't start it as soon as the page loads. So what we can see is each second we update our time. So we already got a functioning clock. Now what I want to do is I want to add the date and that kind of stuff. So I might as well rename this to get time, and we return time, and we call get time and get time. So as you would see, this would still work the same. It's just showing us all the time. Alright. So what we can do next is I guess we want to get the day and that kind of stuff. So let's see how we're gonna do this. Get day. What does get day do? Alright, so get day returns a number where 0 represents Sunday and then 6 represents Saturday. So what we can do is let's say function get yeah, let's just do get date here. Const date equals new date, and we can say const day equals let's make it a let, so we can change it later on because we need to use the switch statements, which I will explain why later. So we can do date dot get day. So get day returns a number, so we can't just display the number because people wouldn't know that 0 means Sunday, 5 means Friday, 6 means Saturday. We want to change it to readable names. So what we can do is we can switch day, and in case of 0, we know it's day equals Sunday. We break because yes, Sunday is 0. Then we can keep going. 1 day equals Monday. Case 2 day equals Tuesday. Case 3 day equals Wednesday. Case 4 day equals Thursday. Let's see if I spell everything right. 5 would be Friday. Then we got one more, which would be Sunday. So case 6 day equals Sunday, and we break. You can close the statement. So now we switch it all. Oh wait, this isn't Sunday, this is Saturday. Excuse me, Saturday. So now we change the day, which would return a number, into a readable form. Oh, we actually closed it already. Well, while I was writing this, I realized that we can even make it more efficient. So instead of having to do this each time manually, what we could do is we could make a variable get day, const days is an object, and then we could say 0 equals Sunday and 1 equals Monday, and we could get the element out of here. But what we could even do is because they are numbers, we could make an array. So const days equals, and then we can say Sunday, because you know arrays are 0th index, so the first element is 0. So if we would get 0 out of the array, we would get Sunday. Then we could add Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I did not spell that right. Friday, Saturday. And if we would get date, or the day is a number, and then we could say day equals days and the index of day. So let's just see what this returns. If we say return day, or no, what we could just do is console.log day to make it a bit quicker, and we could say get date. And if we go into our console, we should see that it's Monday today, and that's right. So we now have the day, which is really good. So now we can go on to, and I could even write this even smaller before I move on, which is days. And then we just get the element as soon as we get the number, instead of writing an extra line. So we get out of the days array, we get the number that date.getDay returns. So we can change it in a constant variable because we won't change it again. Now if I go back, I can see get day, and then we could get month, and we would see a 0 base value where 0 indicates the first month of the year. So what we do is we can say const month equals, and I'm gonna write another array, months, and then date.get month. Close that off, and I'm just gonna write an array with each month. Alright, so I just quickly added all the months of a year, so we should get the right year, because January is 0, and then it goes up to 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Alright, I got all the elements. Alright, so now we got the month. Next thing we need is a get full year. Alright, so the year would be just be the number, so we could just get const year equals date.get full year, and we can return, and I want to return a string which is holding each, I want to return a string where all the elements are combined. So let's start with making a string that contains, how are we gonna do this? Which order do I want to display them in? Let's just do it the European way. Day plus slash, and then we put, let's space around it. Then we say month, and we say year, and that should return everything we want. And then what I can do is I want to set this element equal to let's just say const time equals get time, const date equals get date, and then I want to set them equal to time, new line, we gotta add a plus there, and we want to say date. So if we do this, we should see, alright, that isn't what I exactly wanted to. For some reason new line doesn't work. I guess we can scrap that. It does, however, do something special, so I'm just gonna add a tab \t, I believe. Yes. No. No. \d. Nope. Alright, let's just add 2 spaces. Now I guess nothing really works. Does 2 tabs work? No. Oh my god, this is a disaster. Alright, never mind. I'm just gonna say in HTML I wanna do the same thing here where we have \t plus get date. So what we should see is we should immediately get the time and then everything that combines. So Monday, May 2018. So this was basically it already. We made an entire clock system. We made it pretty small, to be honest. It's 32 lines, but you could even make it more small. You could remove a lot of stuff. You could combine things. Yeah, so if you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.